So it's all about speed in today's sprint, not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Bird completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Gasly, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Norris, Albon, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Iwasa, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Sargent, Joe, Ocon, Liam Lawson, De Vries, Stroll, and the reserve driver rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. Here we go then, the formation lap is underway, ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Max Verstappen has enjoyed multiple wins here at Max Verstappen is legend as Schumacher and Prost. In 2020, the historic champion is F1. The Williams family takes it back after being a stable companion since 1977. The Williams family
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep temps under control, please. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. indicate DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Just 5 laps of fuel remaining. Turbochargers on its last leg. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 20.7 seconds. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Top job, mate, top job, yes! I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but man, you pulled through. Thank you, well done.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, goodbye. This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Bird lines up on pole position. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Gasly, Leclerc, Perez, Norris, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Bottas, Iwasa, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Sargent, Ocon, Stroll, Albon, De Vries, and the reserve driver rounds off the grid. Liam Lawson and Zhou Guanyu. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is none other than Anthony Davidson. Can we start by having a chat about Sergio Perez? That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Right then, the formation lap has started, and I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Fast track. Top speed is 337 kilometres an hour being reached, as well as target 249 kilometres an hour being recorded. In 2020, a historic chapter in the history of F1 came to an end. The Williams family said goodbye to the team after being a staple of the paddock since 1957.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGUH. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep temps under control, please. Not the start we were looking for, but it's not over yet. Stay focused. Okay, so that's a red flag, no overtaking, and let's get back into the pits, please. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshal was We've done all right so far, but this is a chance to take a breath. We've got another half of this race to go, and there's still a big opportunity there. We'll be getting underway in just a moment. Stand by.
Smiling faces on the pit wall then after that superb win here in Spielberg. And rightly so. A brilliant effort from the whole team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
While Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend, it's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Today's performance means that Max Verstappen now owns top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
There's a few contenders, but George Russell definitely stood out, I think. A really solid drive from him today, and one I'm sure the fans enjoyed.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren